Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining the award-winning To Hull and Back podcast. I'm your host, Nathaniel. We are proudly sponsored by Old Zoological Bar and Kingfisher Fish and Chips in Hull. And tonight I'm joined by Will and Joe to discuss the second away 2-1 Yorkshire Derby win for Hull City. So I'm going to be attacking this podcast with a lot of vim and vigour. I think we've got a real chance at, potentially being allowed to dare to dream at some point, if not already. So, well, Joe, how are you guys doing?
Good. Yeah, all right.
Good? Oh, okay. Well, so we won the game, solid 3 points. Southampton will be difficult.
Did we? Jesus, I turned off when they equalised.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think we'll just skip to the end of the match. That was the most exciting thing, and then maybe work our way back. What an incredible moment. Pretty much as good as you can get, other than maybe it being 110th minute or something. Will, last minute winner, give us your thoughts to that.
In hindsight, if you could have said, you'll win 2-1 and you'll score that last minute winner after conceding a goal, I'd have probably said, yeah, go on, because it's the best way to win a last minute winner. But watching it was terrifying.
Oh,
yes. I mean, I was livid because, not really, we wouldn't really blame him because it's a difficult chance, but Philogene had just had that chance to make it 2-0. And then Huddersfield, because we thought we'd got to that point, maybe we could just see it out for just another few moments because I think the second half, Huddersfield really put the pressure on.
But they didn't create much. Even though they had the pressure, they didn't create very much.
Yeah, a few half chances. I guess they hit the post, but that was a deflection. But then you just think, get to that point, throw away the points, and in such a pivotal game of the season, and we really need every result we can possibly get to potentially throw away. Very frustrating, but the spirit to go up the other end and the quality from Amur, we're going to be talking a little bit about him as well. Hopefully, maybe getting some more minutes soon. But local hero Greaves scoring, not once but twice. Just fantastic. So yeah, Joe, did you think it was over for us when we equalised?
Yes, I did. Jacob Greaves last scored a goal against Norwich away on Valentine's Day last year, and then he scores 2 at once. Great for him. Great lad. Love him to pieces as a player, and as a bloke, he's all right as well.
Yeah, and 2 lovely goals. I think both goals would be, a striker would be really proud of those. The XG, I know you don't like the XG, but they were very low for those. Especially the first one, sort of hooked volley, half volley.
I mean, the keeper probably should save it. The first one,
no, but struck with such venom. Such venom.
Should do so much better with it, but then. I thought watching Huddersfield's goal, I thought Allsop should maybe do better with that.
He maybe should have done better with that as well.
So it balances out in the end.
Yeah, I think both of you have said that he maybe should have done better. I think 100% should have done better.
Well, no, because I can't tell how sighted he is because there's 2 defenders right in front of him as the shot is taken.
And when I first looked at it, that's what I'm sort of thinking about, Will. When I first looked at it, I thought, right, he's stuck it through 2 defenders. What can Allsop see? Has it taken a little deflection that we just can't pick up on a camera on a low quality stream, that kind of thing? But hey, doesn't matter. Does it?
No, exactly. His sort of blushes were spared, and just don't know what to say. Just it's such an incredible moment.
Just very happy.
I'm very happy because we all knew
my longman in Jacob Greaves. If anyone used to listen to it, I would shut up about that man, and it's lovely seeing him get his presence, unlike Ryan Longman.
Well, Longman's had his moments, but
not as many good ones.
I think that's really important for that. The set pieces for us have improved. Greaves easily could have scored.
Zaruri's corner, it was a bad delivery initially.
Zaruri's corner was shocking, and Huddersfield failed to clear it.
Very poor clearance. Just hit it straight up in the air.
But you could argue the other thing is that a lot of the times we probably have had, maybe not this season, but generally with Jones and Greaves and McLaughlin, Christie, not enough of these players have scored from set pieces. Maybe it's just that they were attacking them better, and Greaves maybe unlucky not to score with some attempts on Tuesday. So maybe that's just something we've improved ever so slightly. I mean, yeah, not a good crossover initially.
I think we're okay on set pieces. Not the greatest, but not awful either. We're probably, I bet if you look on the stats, we're probably about middle of the table in terms of our set piece goals and stuff like that.
Ian said that Huddersfield deserves something from the game, so I guess we'll just go through the whole match. Started pretty well. Philogene, good chance. I think when you actually look at it again, I mean, of course, it's very quick, but there's actually a lot of space. Yeah, there's a lot of space to the right of the goalkeeper, and he just put it sort of at him. But then we got the corner, lovely sort of hooked half volley from Greaves. Yeah, maybe the keeper could have done better, but get it on target.
He can nutmeg someone, chop back and reburner someone and score into the top corner, but he can't just hit a one-on-one into the back of the net.
No,
that is gaining Philogene to a T.
I think, would we agree that from when Morton went off, we sort of lost control of the game or something?
I was going to bring this up. That was the moment, because we kind of lost a bit of bite in midfield. Someone like, if Morton wasn't there, we normally have Seri there, who would probably do that.
Exactly what I was just going to say. Well, I think had we had Seri there, we'd have noticed Morton, like the Morton being missing less, because Seri is Seri. But the fact we had neither of them, and one of Slater, Tufan, etc., had to play that sort of that Seri role kind of thing, as well as doing what Slater and Doherty would usually do. I think we did lose control in the midfield in that. But speaking of Doherty, I just love his passion. He might not be, someone said it on Twitter, and I totally agree with it. It might not be the first name on the team sheet, but I so hope this isn't that we extend his contract beyond this summer, just because I imagine he is a phenomenal character in the dressing room.
I mean,
oh yeah.
If he was happy just being on the bench for the rest of his career, I'd love to keep him around. But if he wants to play first team football, I'd be happy to. I can understand why he'd want to move, because he isn't going to get it with us anytime soon. But in terms of the actual, he clearly gives a crap about the team. So people like that are always better in the dressing room.
I think we've probably had quite a few players like that over recent years, with maybe Eves, maybe Smallwood, Honeyman, these sort of players, decent players, maybe Elder as well, that we, are great players and useful to bring in. But yeah, maybe Doherty is probably that last one of those few that probably does deserve to actually go and play football somewhere. I mean, I doubt we'd give him a new contract. I think his contract will be up, won't it?
Yes, we used his option.
Years. Yeah, so I don't see us giving him a contract when there'll be a possibility to probably bring in a better player with our new budget. But I mean, that's perfect to see. I think I agree that Tufan and Slater are probably better at the sort of combative tackling side of it. I mean, I think Tufan's the last few weeks has been sort of revitalised. He's not been, amazing in the attacking sense, but, the pressing for Philogene's goal, for example, and the way that he can play in that deeper role. I think when we signed him, we thought maybe he would play slightly deeper than he has done, but recent weeks have shown he can do it all, that sort of complete midfielder, perhaps.
He's a completely different person to the one we signed, isn't he, now?
Yeah, completely, and infinitely fitter.
And he's a different player to the one that he was in Turkey as well. For his career in Turkey, like you say, Nathaniel, he played in that deeper role. But for us, mostly, I mean, we've had him as a striker some games, but he's showing, like you just said, Nathaniel, he's showing that he's got that in him, and his sort of more natural position, the position that's come more natural to him throughout the course of his career up until he signed for us, with his new sort of energy and pressing and fitness. He's a phenomenal player.
Oh, yeah. And I think you want him in the team regardless of what position he's playing in, especially this season. Maybe last season, we wouldn't have wanted to play him deeper, but this year, he's come on such a long way. And another player that has improved a significant amount under Rossini. We look at the young players like Delap and Morton and Coyle and these sort of people, but not that Coyle's young. But Tufan's actually one that has improved significantly as well, because he was good in that number 10 role under Arvalata for a bit.
Speaking of Tufan, have either of you seen that picture? And you lot listening, have either of you seen that picture of Tufan and Abdush?
Oh, with Irma on his shoulders.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant, and it sort of shows like I was talking about Doherty in the dressing room. Tufan's clearly a big player in the dressing room now as well. They all seem to love
particularly for someone like Irma who's coming in from Turkey, someone who knows his situation that he's coming in, so it's a big influence and help for him.
Well, didn't it come out that when Abdush first signed, Ozan called him and said, "Look, you're gonna love it here"?
Probably. I mean, even if that hadn't come out, I would have expected that probably sort of like conversation would have happened.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And that's
nice they've got friends. Yeah. Oh well, I wasn't quite done with Tufan, but we can go into Irma. I mean, Will, you were just saying there that Greaves is your longman. And with Longman not playing as well, and
you can't change it. Don't you dare start.
Well, no, Longman's my Longman, but Irma, I mean, he's only played twice for us. He's not even played 45 minutes yet, I don't think. But he is incredible. I think he's going to be like Pelkas, but good, and hopefully fit.
Have you already managed to jinx the lad? How can you do this to him already?
I mean, I hope not, but I thought he was, made a real impact against Swansea, some nice touches. But
in the brief cameos we've seen of him, he's looked very, very promising.
The composure,
great cross.
Yeah, the composure at 94th minute when you've just conceded, away Yorkshire Derby. We've sort of been thinking, he's a small guy, he's a Turkish Messi. Is he going to be up to sort of the fitness and the intensity of the Championship? And he's not started yet. We've not seen that much, but he's getting stuck in. Maybe, because he has played as a number 10 in the middle of the pitch in Turkey, he's probably a little bit more combative than a winger. So, I think, Enshep's there, put Carvalho out for Irma next match. I think it's just that Rossini will be too cautious to start him. But I think as soon as Rossini would feel that Irma is fit enough to play an hour, I would have him in over Carvalho. I think Carvalho's not quite done it yet.
If the squad continues at the form it's at in terms of individuals, you will have Irma playing and you will have probably a higher playing, though he didn't do massive amounts. You'll have those players playing over players like Zauri and Carvalho, because even though Carvalho has had a couple of decent bright moments, the last couple of games he's been quite quiet, and Zauri after his first couple of games he's been very quiet as well, which is a concern. But hopefully it's just a little hiccup and they get back to it.
I've seen people saying Carvalho will be better when Seri's in the team. What do we think of that?
That probably will help having Seri in the team, having someone more technical behind that attack, giving them the ball will probably help.
Someone who Carvalho's familiar with as well, no less.
As well, yeah. I didn't even think about that. Yeah,
we will be better. We will be better with Seri in the team.
Creatively, City will be way better when Seri's in the side, and they always have been.
Yeah, compared to when we didn't have Seri or Philogene, we're going to be a whole lot better. Rossini said that the Morton injury is just sort of a swollen leg.
Yeah, a bit of a dead leg. So fine by me.
Fingers crossed, should be fine to start alongside Seri on Tuesday. Maybe if it's not enough for him to start, but I imagine he probably will be if it was just.
He won't be out for any longer than just Tuesday, in theory.
I think what Rossini said about Coyle though, and how he had that little injury, and it's 2-3 game weeks in succession. I think he might rest Morton just because we've got.
I would play it safe because Southampton's also a match where we're probably not looking at. We might not win this. We'll maybe play it safe and take it as a free hit possibly.
Because the West Brom game on Saturday is by far the more sort
of the two matches. Yeah,
out of the two, it's the more important one for our season because they are immediately above us in the table.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's a massive week. It's a massive week. But, I mean, yeah, you mentioned it there. I was surprised that after he scored the winner on Tuesday, they still sharted. Oh dear, started sharp. That's
Who
a
did
difficult
what?
one. Yeah, that's a difficult one. I mean, I've got it here. Ohio, Sharp, Connolly. I think as soon as Connolly's fit, I'd have him back in. I mean, Ohio. I mean, again, he's still not had enough. I think Sharp's played 7, 8 games now, and I still think he is going to be better when he's off the bench. I'm not
Agreed.
sure why we started him. I mean, not that bringing Ohio on actually did help us hold the ball up in the second half, but
Well, Sharp
I think
always
part of
felt
the
like the
reason.
person who was bringing on to come off the bench, didn't he? He never felt like he was going to be someone who would be started, and he has done. Which is a bit...
Yeah, I think yeah, we need Delap back basically. You need Delap
Yeah,
back.
it's the best way to describe it, I think.
That's the best way to describe it because Sharp, I don't think is fit enough and young enough to start. I think Ohio, I mean, he could start on Tuesday. I think maybe he will. I thought he was going to play and start against Huddersfield, but I think dropping Sharp for Ohio at half time shows that Ohio probably will start, and especially if Morton is out, Tufan's going to be in that deeper role. Unless, I mean, we're probably just going to get on to what the lineup is going to be. But before we talk about the Southampton game and launch ahead, I mean, there've been a few questions here. I mean, Danny, Leeds fan, has said, please can you do us a favour on Tuesday? That's going to be a massive game. Alex saying season-defining week. I've got the poll, the Twitter poll I just did, sorry, X poll. 172 votes. 63% of City fans think we will reach the playoffs. 37% voted nay offs, which I thought was highly hilarious. Good pun for myself. Where do we feel like we're at? Because 4 wins out of 5 is good, but it's probably the worst 5 games we've played, at least creatively, throughout the season. So where are we at?
I mean, I would argue Philigine's goal against Rotherham is the most creative thing we've done all season.
True, but that's kind of individual brilliance. Obviously, that counts.
Yeah, but I think it trumps the other 4 games around it.
I'm not really sure whether you can do that because if we'd lost the other 4, then...
But we didn't.
No, we didn't.
So we obviously played enough to win 4 of those 5 games.
Yeah, and I think
and
that's...
Let's face it, the one that we didn't win out of those games was the one where we had most of possession, bar Rotherham, really, and probably created the most sort of, well, even if they're not clear-cut chances, they're still chances.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. We've definitely seen a side of the club, the team that we didn't think existed before we won at Sunderland, other than maybe Leicester and then the Middlesbrough match. Those are the only 2 times I've felt like we've really ground out a result this season, whereas now we've probably done that, 4 out of 5 games. The only one where we did it was where we couldn't grind it out against Swansea. And, that is the other part of the game. You talk just before when we were mentioning Zaroury and Carvalho, are they sort of fully at it? Whereas you look at Ohio, big player, and you look at Omer, who's getting stuck in. In the Championship, you need quality, but you need players to be getting stuck in. And if we've got that, we do have enough quality in the team to score 1 or 2 goals a game, even if we're not creating chances. So the way I see it, if we were Norwich fans or Coventry fans, obviously you'd be quite positive with your own team, but you'd also look at City and think, because you haven't watched the performances, you're probably not going on Twitter seeing what people think of the performances and listening to us say we've not been at our best. You probably think they're 1 4 out of 5. They've got incredible squad. They've got as good a chance as anyone.
But if they did look at Twitter, they could think, all right, the fans think they've not played as well as they can and they're still getting results. Imagine what they're like if we played them on a day when they play at their best. Precisely. Just to play devil's advocate to your argument.
Not too long ago, when we played Norwich, their fans were a lot of their fans were asking for Wagner out.
Yeah, crazy how things change. I don't think Norwich even are on a good run. I feel like Norwich have just been exactly like us, just kind of inconsistently okay and pretty good-ish throughout the season. It feels like we've underperformed throughout the whole year. Yeah, because we are very streaky. But I mean, yeah, Tyneside Tiger there, 4 wins from 5 is great, but 3 of them against mediocre opposition. I guess.
You what's playing in front of you.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't win, if we end up in the playoffs come the end of the season, we're going to look back on those games and think, right, glad we beat those mediocre teams, because if we drew or lost all of those games, even if we beat the teams around us, if we didn't pick up the points in the games where you just need to pick up points no matter how you do it, we wouldn't be in there. So every point counts in the Championship.
Yeah, exactly.
100%. Yeah, Tyneside Tiger again. West Brom is the true barometer, and yeah, from a point that's true, because of course that the purpose of the season from a senior manager and the players all believe they can get into the playoffs. Then if they get into the playoffs, they're not just going to be like, okay, we're happy just to be here. They're going to then want to play well and beat the teams in the top 6 to get promoted. So yeah, we need to be beating everyone. And well, I'll pick you up on that. I mean, obviously you don't really believe that because you know that City are going to win 3-0. But
yeah,
it can't really be a free hit. I mean, yes, it's the game in hand, but they're going to go there with full confidence that they've just won 2 difficult away games and they can do it again.
It's not a free hit, but it's a game where you're going into it, you're going against a team that, although they did finally have their unbeaten streak broken, they are still in stupidly good form overall. It's a team that, when you look at the players they've got and the money that's been spent on it, they probably should be around the automatics.
Yeah.
So it is a team that, on paper at least, you think, yeah, it's probably better than Hull it is. So you'd be happy going to it and hoping for a point rather than 3. But obviously, you always want to win 3 points whoever you play. I mean, we've shown that we can do that against Leicester this season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. We're one of the few teams
when
to beat Leicester.
When we played them at home, Southampton, I think we were unlucky to lose that game.
Yeah. First 25, 30 minutes, we probably going to have conceded in the last second or something. So, yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, it's a difficult one to know. It's not a free hit, but it's probably maybe 50% more of a free hit than Rotherham, which is 100% must win. But yeah, I think if we go there thinking it's a free hit, we'll get slaughtered. So of course, obviously, they will.
I don't think players and teams ever think that. No. I'm going to go to a match. They think they can win every game if they play it right.
Yeah, because if we do win against Southampton, we are then in an incredible position, I think, going into the West Brom game with confidence, and then could leapfrog. Well, we would leapfrog. Although not West Brom are actually also playing.
Because the reality would leap West Brom. We won both games. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think even if we see, I thought West Brom didn't have a game in hand, but they also do. They're playing against Plymouth, which will be a tough game for them as well, to be fair. But yeah, I feel like we're almost there. I was doing a little bit of maths earlier because before
2 plus 2
the game. No, nothing quite so revolutionary. Before the game, I did say, because I mean, Ant was at the match. He hates Huddersfield. I think we all hate Huddersfield because of the results we've had against him in the past. Not won there since
not the greatest record there.
Not a great record there at all. And we should have always pretty much beaten them. And haven't we always finished above them the last few years anyway, and not won?
After the year we got relegated.
I would argue there's at least 2 seasons we didn't finish above them. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because they finished in the playoffs as well. 1 season. Fair point. But it feels like we should do.
I think below them at 1 point as well.
At the point of the season we played them, I think they were probably further down in the table when we had McCann and they got into the playoffs later. But we were all saying, well, because we've not won there in a while, if we beat Huddersfield, then we can dare to dream. That's like it's a duck that we've had. It's, a curse that we've lifted maybe we can go on and dream. And of course, the last time we beat them, we did go and get promoted. It's a little bit of an omen, but I was doing some maths on the sort of average points we need to get, and I could go through it all. But we have, even though we've had a poor run, we have just won 7 games out of 14, which is what we need to repeat to get 72 points, which is the average to finish 6th. So 7 from 14. I think it's probably a tougher 14 than we could have because we've just played Rotherham and Huddersfield. They've gone lower down on the table, but we really do have a chance.
I was going to say, if a lot of that 14 is playing the teams around us, then you probably don't need to win 7 of them.
Yeah, I think 7 wins is probably I think any less, I don't know, but I feel like that would do it. 21 points would do it.
Left, we've got Southampton, West Brom, Preston, all those 3, 2 of those 3 around us, 1 above. Birmingham, well below. Leicester, well above. Coventry, around. Stoke, below. Leeds, above. Let's be honest. Yeah. Cardiff, sort of around, sort of not. Same with Middlesbrough. Then QPR, Watford, Ipswich, and Plymouth.
It is a tougher 14. Like, I'm sure someone's going to do it at some point with the average positions. And especially, I think Plymouth being a home match will make that difficult. But, home for them, they're very good at home. But,
last game of the season as well, you don't know how the season's panning out. It depends how what the permutations are going into it.
Yeah, Plymouth, I mean...
Chuck a backup team out.
Yeah, Tuesday, or when we did the Rotherham review, was it Wednesday night? We did say that Plymouth are one of the very few teams to not have anything to play for.
Who are now in a no man's land scenario.
So they will be on the beach come the last day.
I think Cardiff also are, personally, and Birmingham.
Yeah.
Personally.
It's still no, though, because there's 14 games left. There's enough time for our best player to get injured, their best player to get injured, have men sent off in the games, go through bad form, go through good form. Plus, Huddersfield 3 weeks ago was a walkover, whereas now, it was a really tough game because they just got the new manager or the caretaker manager, and they just scored 3 against Southampton. So it's, there are so many variables. I think West Brom, they're a good team with Corberan. I mean, I think Coventry and Norwich are pretty good. But considering that we have a game in hand, even though it is Southampton, in a way, that puts us in not pole position, but it'll be very close. And I think at this point of the season, we have a good amount of points. We've got a good squad. They just need to not screw about. And I think if we don't finish in the playoffs, it'll just be down to us because we've got the players to do it. There have been games earlier in the season where, 4 or 5, we probably definitely should have won, especially at home where we've had a lot of draws. But we've got through a tough period. Allegedly, this period was tough. We've got 7 wins from 14, which is what we need to do in the next 14. I'm quite happy with where we are. I think it's all context. Expectations after January are definitely raised. But compared to where we thought we were going to be early in the season, I think we all said 10th, 11th-ish.
Almost everyone said mid-table, but you wouldn't think that the way some people have acted towards certain results this season.
But I think if we finish 10th now, it'd be Rosenior out.
Yeah, I don't think Rosenior out would be a sensible option. If anyone says that, then he's chucking in a bin. But I think now, personally, if we finished 7th, if we finished where we are now, level on points, but not in the playoffs, I don't think there's much of a... I don't think you can complain massive amounts. I mean, you can be upset, but I don't think there's much you can complain about because when you look at where we thought we'd be at the start of the season to now.
Yeah.
Look where we were last season as well.
Yeah.
15th.
Exactly.
Yeah. And clearly Rosenior's done a good job because we do have better players now, but that first half of the season we've had compared to, the first half of the season before he came in last year, it's just no comparison at all. But if we do start creating those chances, we will blow teams away. But yeah, I think massive week, but I'm looking forward to it. And
we're in Nathaniel, the fact that in some games we don't seem to finish teams off, and that could harm us in terms of goal difference. If you look at goal difference around us now, Preston below, 2 points below, are on -8. I think we had this discussion fairly recently about someone's goal difference, whether it was ours or not, can't quite recall. But then
Norwich is much better.
Norwich above us 8, Coventry 14, West Brom 14. So it could be argued that our goal difference could fail us come the end of the season. But to that, I'd say when we've got everyone fit, pretty much minus Delap, all being well, James Fairlong's back on the grass next week. All being well, Liam Delap will be our only absentee for the remainder of the season.
And he's technically not due to be out for the rest of the season either.
No, 7-8 games he could do. Yeah.
So I'd say we're at full strength when these new players are in at full strength, and we've got players like Seri back, Philogene fully fit, Ohio, Carvalho, Zaruri, they're fully integrated. Then we can look a bit more at sort of how we're creating the chances for these players, and can we get that goal difference up a bit? But you keep winning games, that goal difference is only naturally going to rise.
Yeah. If we won 7, we would go up. Well,
at least 7, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it'd probably stay the same because we're probably losing the other 7, but we could draw them. But I think we can dare to maybe not dream of promotion, but we can certainly dare of dreaming of scraping 6th. I think the way we're going, because there is still that level to go above. Where maybe Norwich, I like that. Coventry finished playoffs last year, playoff final. They're a good team. Mark Robbins, longest serving manager in the Championship. They're solid. I like them. West Brom, Corberan, very, very good as well. Norwich, I feel like.
Stupid the other night, though, like.
Well, Oh, Corberan. Oh, yes, let's talk about that. Keeping the ball in. I mean, that's the one where the ball is going out. It's a bit hard.
Take a step back.
You can't. That's why they have the technical area. If he kept to the rules of staying in the technical area, there wouldn't have been a problem.
Since when did any manager ever stay to those rules?
But then exactly, he cannot have any complaints that he got sent off for keeping the ball in play because he wasn't in his technical area.
How many games did he suspended for? Is it just the one?
I think it's just the one because I looked straight afterwards. Do West Brom have a game?
That could be a 3-game ban.
Well, Rosenior only got 1, didn't he? So I'm going off that.
Yeah,
to be fair,
which is a shame because we could probably do with him not being on the field for our game.
I don't really see he wouldn't be on the field though, would he? He's a manager. He can still manage the team from up there. I don't know whether it makes a huge difference because he'll have the team talk, and he has the time before the game. That's when you do your managing.
When we didn't have Rosenior for that one game, it really affected us.
Who did we play?
Doncaster.
I think it was. It wasn't the Doncaster game. It was a different game, wasn't it?
Bristol City won it when he'd been suspended for too many yellow cards.
And I think we probably wouldn't have lost that game because we were winning it, and we were. I think if Rosenior had been on the bench, on the touchline, we'd have probably won that game because his game management in the moment is a lot better.
Yeah, I'd say so. Okay, so I think we've got a few dilemmas to do with the lineup. I think maybe a few of them Mark's just put in here. Keeper is the weak link. Allsop. I mean, I know you said you're a little bit harsh to be critical of the save, but at the moment, we're still Allsop in pro Allsop, are we?
He also made some very good saves throughout the game.
He did.
He did. Allsop on the balance of things this season has won us more points than he's lost us. Yes, you can point to like the Swansea game and maybe saving that, but you also look at his debut, the Leeds game. He comes straight in, keeps that game level, and had Traore buried it at the other end, we win that game 1-0. A big part thanks to his shot stopping.
Yeah, quite right. I think essentially what I'm frustrated is that we don't have a goalkeeper that is really good, making lots of saves and with with their feet.
We might be under. We just wanting to settle in first.
We just don't know, do we?
I would argue a lot of keepers who are both good with their feet and good at shot stopping usually aren't at this level.
No, they are. To be honest, I think there's probably only 2 goalkeepers in the whole world that are equally good, and that is Alisson and that is Ederson, and that's it. Everyone else is trying.
No longer playing football anymore.
Oh yeah.
No, Neuer. Have you seen Neuer? He's been dusted since
literally the man who invented the
Russia. No. Yeah, but not anymore. Since he was up, halfway up the pitch against South Korea, that's gone. He's not a good sweeper keeper. After his reputation is in the mud. But yeah, okay, maybe 3, but there's pretty much. We are not going to get someone as good as that. So fair enough. And then the other one, Billy Sharp. I mean, we like him. He's the top Championship goal scorer of all time. But don't start him. Don't start him.
He's better off bench.
End the experiments.
He can't score 90th minute winners if you start him because he can't run for 90 minutes. He's about 70 years old. It's cruel. It's cruel.
We're better off with him coming off the bench once the team's been somewhat tired by.
You want a high-o
in theory,
punching and elbowing and head-butting everyone for the first 60 minutes, and then you get Sharp on.
Speaking of punching, did you see the Sheffield United Brighton game today? Tom Davies came off the bench, and
you mean Travis Bickle came off the bench?
His haircut, dreadful. Him and the Brighton goalkeeper were squaring off, and then Tom Davies just sort of then punched him in the abdomen, and they both only got for it. I mean, Mason Holgate red card.
Mason Holgate's red card was amazing.
Red card was awful.
And then
the fact that Ahmed Hodzic will have had chance to watch.
Sheikh came out and said he won a red card.
Surely, right at half time, the whole team will have watched that back. It would have been the only talking point in the dressing room. Like,
don't do that, please, again. Yeah. How many would we put past Sheffield United?
Don't try and snap someone's femur. Good idea, boss.
I can't believe the referee didn't see the height of the challenge and only
initially gave a yellow. Yeah. That was one use of VAR. That was correct.
Yeah. We would crack Sheffield United open like an egg. They are that bad. They are
my
painful to watch.
If our current team did get promoted, I don't know if it would have the wherewithal to be massively better than United currently are.
I mean, if you had the 11 that's playing now, we'd finish bottom. Of course we would, but I think with Adjan, the hope is that we'd be able to do we have made better signings than Sheffield United did in January and Burnley. Especially, maybe even better players than they got. But for the comparison between the divisions we're in, our signings were much better for the Championship than they were for the Premier League. I think you would like to think that we would use the money better, but yeah, of course it would be difficult. But and hopefully we wouldn't sell our best 2 players like they did in Jai and Berg. No idea why they did that. I guess because they didn't want to stay. But yeah, lineup for the Southampton game: Allsop, Giles. That's the same. Well, I imagine Coyle will be fit. Hopefully,
I hope so.
Yeah, then maybe not risk Morton. Seri, Slater with Coyle right back. And then Amur probably not fit to start. It'd probably just have to be same sort of middle front 3, and then Big Noah up front. Yeah. I'd be happy with that. I'd be happy with that.
To bring him out, but
that's the Arsenal 2 fan as well. But
maybe you have Slater on the wing.
I'd maybe drop Carvalho and put 2 fan there.
Yeah, I reckon that's not a bad shout at all. Not a bad shout at all. But speaking of lineups, it's been 40 minutes. I think it's time for the combined lineup.
Right, Jacob Greaves.
No. Let me read it out. No.
I've just seen that. What?
Let me.
You
explain.
go on about, what was it last week? Oh, I have to pick Hellick. He scored so many goals for Huddersfield. And now Greaves scores a brace against Huddersfield and he's not in the combined lineup. You absolute fraud.
No, he's up front, Will. He's up front.
He is up front. Have you not? See, this is why you
forgotten
let
that
me read it out first.
Yeah, this is the thing. He scored from centre-back. Why would you have him up front? Clearly, he's more lethal. He's clearly lethal from a centre-back position.
Score at centre-back. He didn't run the whole length of the pitch and dribble ass. He was in the box the 2 times he scored. He was up front at the last minute.
You've gone about Big Noah for so long and you don't want to play him.
Let me read it out for the wonderful audio listeners and then you can complain. We've got Bazunu in goal, Giles, Harwood, Bellis, Bednarek, Walker-Peters, Philogene, Seri, Stuart Armstrong, Ryan Fraser, Adam Armstrong, and then up front next to him, we've got Jacob Greaves. I thought you'd like that. Bit of humour. What's wrong with that? He scored his goals in the penalty box. Stick him up front. Because he scored more goals than Noah Ohio did, didn't he? He scored more goals than Sharp and Ohio combined this season. So I think, obviously I've done that for a bit of levity, but I thought Harwood, Burst and Bednarek such a good pairing. They've been great for Southampton. And stick Greaves up front. Stick him up front. Cross it in. Go route one. Yeah. Any more thoughts, or you just?
I'm surprised you didn't put Ohio at centre back based on where he wanted to play on Saturday.
Well, I can't remember who tweeted that out, but someone did a combined lineup, and they put Greaves up front and Ohio at the centre back, and I thought, I'm not going to steal that.
You did steal some of that and didn't give them any credit.
Well, you. How about you do some wonderful podcast audio content for about a minute, and I'll find the tweet. Do you like that?
Jesus Christ almighty.
Go on, do some wonderful podcast content. And I'm going to find it. I'm not saying anything for the next minute. You've got a minute to yourselves. Go on.
Anyway, Joe.
How's life,
watch any good films lately?
Well, you haven't even got anything else to say about Hull City.
Because Nathaniel decided to ruin this episode by just giving up on it halfway through.
We'll bring it back around to a Hull City front, I think. On Wednesday, listeners, at Ferriby kicking off at 7 o'clock, under 21s play, I think it's Crew in, like I say, Ferriby, 7 o'clock, free entry for North Ferriby season ticket holders and Hull City members, if anyone wants to come along. Is that some? We'll give the Academy some space on here.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. There you go. At Jowlmen, JALLMEN on X. There you go. I stole it from Jowlmen.
You've done that today.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that's what it's called, isn't it?
No, it isn't.
But, we're playing Southampton on Tuesday, then we're playing West Brom on Saturday, so we've got to do the predictions for both games. Will Southampton, easy win. Come on. You gotta do it. Come on.
I think we'll win.
Come on, Will.
It'll be Southampton 0, Hull City
3.
Yeah, love it.
Also, Nathaniel, what did you say that we'd beat Huddersfield by again?
7.
Just checking.
Didn't we win? I got the same amount of points for that as you did, Will.
Yeah, but
so
it's a good job we don't play points so bad, isn't it? Because then you'd be real shit out of luck with that one.
Yeah, true. Joe, Southampton, it's going to be a very tough game, but, they're going to play a different way to Huddersfield and Rotherham. Maybe we'll appreciate just being able to hit them on the counter rather than just being pressed as much or something. I don't know, but thoughts?
A Russell Martin team will come out and play.
Yeah.
I would absolutely take a point going into it. I would.
Worth mentioning, I also would take a point ignoring my prediction every week.
I would adore 3, but I think we will walk away with 1 all draw.
Oh, who's going to score? Joe, who's going to score?
I'm so tempted to say Greaves, but I'm not going to.
He's not going to score 2 in a row, is he?
Yeah, bugger it. Alfie Jones.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I'd very much appreciate that. I mean, I think it's going to be a very tough game. I mean, honestly, I think we're probably going to play a little bit better. We're going to rise to the occasion. We're going to create some chances, but I think defensively, I'm not 100% sure. So honestly, I think the result I'm going to go for is 8-0 Hull City. We're going up. We're going up. We beat Huddersfield. We beat Huddersfield. We've broken the curse, and we're gonna do what Bournemouth did to Birmingham. We're gonna do what Newcastle did to Sheffield United early in the season, and we're gonna give them no mercy, and we're gonna give them 8-0.
You've actually ruined this segment completely.
2-1 Southampton win. 2-1 Southampton win. Are you happy? I'm not happy.
It's more realistic.
Be happy with that. All right. Okay. I'll go for my honest prediction for the sake of the prediction leaderboard is a 2-1 Southampton win. But again, so long as we play pretty well, it's not a free hit, but, I think the more important game is West Brom, who are slightly above us. But, I think we'll play well, but Southampton, good team. They might just have a little bit more for us. So 2-1 Southampton, 8-0.
2-1 it is then.
Yeah, and then Colin saying 2-1 Hull, Appleton, Zachary Stevens saying 4 points, and I'll be over the moon. I'd be over the moon with 3.
I'd take 4 points from the next 2 games as well. I mean,
I love it.
Talking. Yeah. I mean, what do you think West Brom's going to be then? Because we won't be talking until after that.
Exactly. So, stat moment. West Brom 17th in the away form table. I mean, these away form, home form.
Our home form isn't the greatest either, to be fair.
No, but I feel like they're not going to crumble. It's going to be a very important game. I think potential in some hypothetical world for that to be one of the playoff matches. So it'll be a tough game, but you'd rather be playing them at home than away. Certainly with that 17th place. So I feel like, after playing against Southampton and realising how tough it is going to be against Southampton, we're going to have to raise our game again against West Brom and be like, this is how we really need to play. We played like this against Southampton, hopefully, or we didn't, and we need to up our game. I feel like, West Brom, we're going to do it. I feel like we could win that. But, how do we see this one going, Will?
I mean, I feel better about our chances against West Brom purely because they are on not rocky form, but not the most amazing form. Like us, they've kind
streaky with us.
Struggled to get they've struggled to sort of like break away from the pack, like we have. It's going to be a tough. It's going to be a tough one, but I think it's going to be a lot better than Southampton game. If anything, playing Southampton before it might help City a little bit because they know what level they need to be at when they play West Brom.
That's just what I said.
And I don't know. I don't listen to you, so don't matter. I think we'll go into it. It'll be a tough game. It'll be a close game, and we'll win 3-0.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Joe, West Brom, Corberan, good team, but can we do it? Can we do
beat
it?
them last season.
It's a dream.
Why can't we do it again? That's what I said.
We did. Well said.
Even in the absence of Benjamin Tete, and depending on whether Greaves gets a yellow card or not, we might have Sean McLaughlin in there, but we might not have either of our goals scored on that game. Who scored? It was Louis Coyle who scored at the Hawthorns, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Luscious half volley.
So I think we will win. I don't think it'll be easy by any means, but I think it will be a 2-1 beautiful little Hull City win in front of the Sky Sports cameras.
Yeah, Billy Sharp, 90th minute winner.
Yeah, I think I'll go Philogene and Tufan on that one.
Philogene, Tufan. Yeah, that's pretty standard.
So 3-0, Philogene, Ohio, and Greaves again.
Nice. Greaves taking the penalty because he's the new striker. Yeah, Ohio at
It's
centre back.
the 90th minute to just give it to Greaves.
I mean, you may as well. If it's literally the last minute and you're 2-0,
we're already 2-0.
1-0, and I'm not sure.
I mean, if it was the last minute and we were 2-0 up, I'd maybe consider giving it just to Allsop.
Yeah, because
the last minute of injury time as well, so they cannot come back.
What's the worst that can happen? We win 2-1.
Oh no!
What problem is it? Yeah, I think what you'd do if you were 2-0 up in literally the last 60 seconds, not the 89th minute, 95th,
97th minute, yeah.
And what you do is you let Allsop take the penalty, and you have 10 outfield players on the goal line watching the side of the pitch.
Can't do when he misses it.
Yeah. Oh no, they stay there, and they put you have 2 on the halfway line to cut down the players, and you have 8 on the line, and you have Allsop taking the penalty. I would love to see that, because they're not going to score, are they? Not even going to have the energy to run up the rest of the pitch. I mean, I'm going to say 2-1 Southampton win, 8-0, and I'm going to say, I think scrape a 1-0, and I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be, my new favourite player, Amur. Oh my God, what a wonderful goal! Tap in 89th minute to win. 1-0 win for City.
Ryan Giles crossed
9-0. 9-0.
Ryan Giles cross that goes in over the keeper.
Oh, that'd be nice. I've made it.
I know he's currently a loan player, though we could buy him, and you should never fall in love with a loan player. I'm falling in love with Giles.
I'm happy to fall in love with him though, because we have an option to buy him.
That's it, exactly. That's the thing. We could still have him.
He might as well be our player.
And we are going up.
Probably will be.
I mean, Will, you think we're going to win every single game 3-0, so we've probably got a chance at automatic, so we're buying him. Yeah. But as I've made it, I'll go through the West Brom combined lineup as well. I mean, maybe a little bit swayed. Well, I say a little bit. Obviously, it's swayed the whole City way because of City, but there are 6 City players in here. We've got Alex Palmer in goal, Ryan Giles, Greaves at centre-back, Jones and Furlong, Surrey and Morton, assuming Morton's fit, Mowat, Jonathan Swift, sort of right attacking midfield, Ram on FIFA, if you want to do that, Philogene left wing, and whatever his first name is, Thomas Asante.
Brandon.
I was going to say Brandon, to be fair. Yeah.
Again, it's a name that's not hard to pronounce.
Again, it's not that. It's so if I hadn't ever met you before, the fact that I know Will's an easy name to say, but if I don't know your name is Will, I'm not just going to say it, am I? No, if someone new came, into your room here and said, "Oh, what's your name?" I don't know. You're not going to say to him, "You absolute idiot, my name's easy to pronounce. It's Will." You're not going to do that, are you? Disgraceful behaviour. Will's doing a sort of fishing rod imitation in the background for audio listeners, but I'm not having any of this.
Clear up, Nathaniel. Was the Furlong in your predicted team Darnell for West Brom or James for us?
James.
No, James Furlong isn't playing at right back.
There might be a serious injury crisis between now and that game. You don't know.
And Furlong is back on the grass this week coming up.
I feel like there were about 10 players we'd played before we decided to do Furlong at right back after coming back.
If we had no right backs, we'd play Slater, like we did against us.
Brandon Fleming would play if before Furlong. Yeah,
I mean he would. That is just true. That is just true. But Appleton, Zachary Stephen. Always remember Rob Corrin's goal at West Brom. I mean, I bet he scored quite a few considering he used to play for them. Liam Smith says hard fought 2-2.
There's no need for that.
Southampton. Yeah, whatever. Colin Murphy saying 2-1 Southampton win for Hull. Jones brace. I'd appreciate that as much, but yeah, I mean, it's a massive week. I think we've got a good chance. Win one of those 2 games, we could potentially be 5th, and then you're in pole position going into the last 12 games of the season, looking for 6 wins. I think we can do it. I'm believing. And Gabe Sutton, I know he got a lot of stick at the start of the season for saying Hull City 6th, but one family, one dream, and on that bombshell, I think it's time to get this wrapped up. Yeah, but Joe and Will, more just beautiful responses and contributions from everyone. Yeah, well, I think you're bringing up the food thing. Talk about the food thing. Go on, talk about the food thing.
Oh, you asking the fat person to bring up food, are you fucking twat?
Well, Joe, did you bring up that comment from Chris?
No, we established in the last episode I have absolutely no control over the comments whatsoever.
Oh, well, it wasn't me. It was Will. I know he's going to do the fishing rod thing again, but quite frankly, that was disgraceful behaviour from Will. But the comment is, which has got your vote, Toad in the Hole or Peri Peri Chicken? I'm assuming that's for next footy scan. That City, isn't it?
Yes.
No, it's just for the pub down the road that's doing an offer.
Chris he doesn't know what to eat. Well, I'm sorry. Peri Peri Chicken's got to be the next one, right?
You're wrong there, straight away.
I'm sure.
Peri Peri Chicken? No.
To answer your question,
Peri Peri Chicken?
My vote was to Toad in the Hole, but I voted on behalf of my dad who wanted Peri Peri Chicken.
Be your own man, Joe.
Well, that's not very nice, is it? Make your own account. Shocking.
Well, it's very rare that I actually eat the food at City, just because I don't eat. I tend not to eat in the ground, so that's why I asked him what because he's more likely to eat it than me. But if it was up to me, I'd pick Toad in the Hole.
We'll just end the episode on some nice other football news. Will, I mean, again, you've got the 117 days until Euro 2024. England's hugely exciting Nations League B group got revealed. Finland, Ireland, and someone else. Joe's left the podcast, but I mean, that's utterly boring, isn't it?
So who did you say then?
It was Finland and Ireland.
Yes.
I can't remember the third team. I think that's just because it's so dull.
That's pretty bad. I mean, you could have
talking about
checked. It could possibly be Iceland, but you could have just checked.
Is it Iceland?
It could be.
So yes. Oh, we're not going to lose to Iceland again, are we? Gosh. So yeah,
no, probably not going to lose to Iceland again yet.
No, they're not as good as they were. Although they weren't good, that was sort of the point. But yeah, Joe Will, fantastic stuff again. Hopefully 6 more sumptuous points for Hull City and Liam Rossini's Tricky Tigers as they head to the glory land of the Premier League, and we get to sign the Turkish national team. I think it is Iceland. I'm not sure.
It's either Iceland or Greece, which are very different places.
Is it? Maybe it is Greece. I'm not sure. We need to find out for this Hull City podcast.
Just derailing the end of the podcast, of course, but I need to make sure I'm correct.
Who is it, Joe?
England's group is
Finland.
I can't find us actually.
The tournament that no one cares about.
Well, we're not in the top division anymore, so
England,
don't look there.
Finland, the Republic of Ireland, and Greece.
Oh, thank God.
Greece. Fair enough. You got it.
I cannot believe I've Googled that, having turned my camera off and muted my microphone when the discussion started.
Wonderful. But yeah, let's wrap this up.
Everybody.
Thanks for listening, and we'll be back next week after 6 more delicious points.